Okay, this is the third video. And again, please excuse my lack of editing. Right now, I'm just making these videos. Like I said, I'm in the office. I just want to put them up and move on because I've been wanting to do these for quite some time and I never have the time, which is why I'm doing it now in the office. Okay, so just a little bit more about the medications. When you take the medication and you are going to increase the dosage, again, some people will stay on the lower dose because it's more economical. If you stay on 0.25, then you're going to get 8 doses out of, I think it's 8 doses. Let me think. 4. You're going to get 16 doses out of the 1 milligram pen. And again, I'm going to say milligram. It might be microgram. I'm not sure. But you're going to get 16 doses if you do 0.25. And the way to do that, you have to count clicks. Because what happens is that pen has a number on it, so you know where to turn it to. So like if you're doing 1 milligram, you're going to turn it, basically it's to the end anyway, but you'll see the number 1. But if you wanted to do, say 0.25, I think you go, there's a chart, but I think you go 19 clicks. And so if you do that, every time you're only going to dose out 0.25, and you'll really stretch out your pen. The problem is that although you'll get 16 weeks out of it, the medication is only good for 56 days. So you're only going to get 56 days worth of medication. So let's see if we can do the math on that one. 56 days, 7, 6, basically 7, maybe 8 weeks, right? 8 times 7 is 56. All right. So you're going to get 8 weeks of medication. So even though you can pull it out to 16, by doing 0.25, you're going to get 2 months. If you want to do it like that, and if you feel like it's helping you, continue to do that. Personally, I don't think so, because after the 4 weeks, you're already noticing that you're not losing weight or you're getting hungry, So you do that 0.25 because it's basically just to get your body adjusted to medication. It's not really there to stay on long term. Then you're going to move up to the 0.50. When you move up to the 0.50, again, there's plenty of people who want to stay there. Or they say they went up to 1.0, side effects were too bad, and so they went back down to 0.50. Again, your weight loss is not going to be as impressive or as consistent or as rapid as it would be if you moved up. Normal dosing, you're on 0.50 for 2 weeks. If you use the 1.0 pen, you're going to get 8 weeks as opposed to the 4 weeks out of the regular pen. So will the 8 weeks cover it? Yes. In 0.50, you will not be wasting any medication when you have the 1.0 pen. Whereas if you do in 0.25, you have to throw away the pen with half of the medication still in it. Just do it the way it's made to be done and you'll be fine. So again, 4 weeks of 0.25, 2 weeks of 0.50, and then you move up to 1.0. Now 1.0 you stay on until you feel you want to move up. When you move up, you're moving up to 2.0. That's quite a big difference in medication if you're doubling the medication to 2.0. I haven't switched to 2.0. I've done 1.0 and have been satisfied with it for the most part. The thing is, and the medication costs the same regardless. It doesn't matter if you're doing the 1.0 or the 2.0. What you cannot get is you get that starter pack, that's only one time. So after that, you have to, do the clicks if you want to do less than what the prescription is. So if you move up to 2.0, that's the highest as far as I can remember. Like I said, there might be a 4.0, but for the most part, you do 2.0, and that's where you stay. I stayed at 1.0. I do have a box with 2.0. I just haven't used it yet. My doctor prescribed, actually he gave me the sample, and he said, try it. And, if you're okay with it, then I'll change the prescription to 2.0. I haven't opened it. I've had it maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. I haven't gone to 2.0. I just got the refill for 1.0 and I stayed there. What I have done is I've taken it a little bit sooner than a week. So let's say I took my dose on Sunday. I might be taking the next dose on Thursday or Friday, somewhere around there. So will I run out faster? Yeah. But if I wind up running out before my next prescription starts, then I'd probably move up to the 2.0. Now, when I talk about clicks, so there's a way to do it. First of all, like I said, there's a chart. And on the chart, you can look it up. Just look up Ozempic click chart or Wegovy click chart. And it'll tell you how many clicks to each dose. So if you wanted to do, let's say, 0.50 on the Ozempic pen, which would be half of the dose that is automatically preset to come through, you would count however many clicks it is. I think it's in the 30s. So let's say 38 clicks. So you're going to count 38 clicks. It's difficult to continue doing that, at least in my opinion. It's difficult to continue doing that each and every time that you're going to take a dose. What I've seen people do, it's like, let's say if you're doing 0.50, and so you're going to get 8 doses out of the pen. So you're going to click to 30, let's just say 36, and then it spins down again. So now you're starting back at 0. So then you're going to have to click up to 36. So what I've learned people do is they mark off the little area where they stopped counting and clicking. So again, if it's like 36, you take a pen or a marker and you just make a little mark inside where the little clicks are. There's little notches. You make a little mark on it. So now automatically next time you go to do it that you're just going to move the dial up to where you made the line, and you don't have to count anymore. So that's my suggestion, is if you are going to count clicks, mark it off when you get to that number, make a little mark on the pen, on the little dial, make a mark, and then you don't have to count clicks anymore. Just a suggestion. So anyway, so that's basically it in a nutshell as far as dispersing the medication. I've already mentioned that you're supposed to either put it in your lower stomach or your leg. If you want to put it in other areas, when I say your leg, I mean your upper thigh. People do. Some people put it in their arm. Some people put it, I don't even know where other areas, somewhere else on their leg. They feel that the medication is stronger. It doesn't make any sense to me. You're getting the same amount of medication in your bloodstream when you get it. How does your body know where it came in? And it's not something like, say if you were taking an antibiotic or a painkiller, you might want to get that medication as quick as possible. But if you're taking, and also if you're type 2 diabetic and you feel like your blood sugar is up too high, then sure, you'd want to get it as quickly as possible. But I don't think it really works like that. And even if it did, what's your hurry if you get it and the medication kicks in quicker than if it kicks in where you inject it in your stomach or your upper thigh, and it takes, let's just make up a number and say it takes an extra hour before it really absorbs. What difference does that hour really make? So anyway, that's just my suggestion. You do it the way it says, either in your stomach or your upper thigh. In addition to that, also, you're supposed to prime your pen. So when you first open the pen, please remember there are 2 caps, because I've read from other people's experiences on Facebook that they have gone to inject the needle and they think that they did, but they actually had the inner cap still capped. So they basically not only wasted a dose, they didn't even know that they had injected it improperly until somebody else brought it to their attention and said, hey, you have the cap on. So, and it makes sense. If you're not familiar with an injection, which I wasn't either, the only reason I knew is because my endocrinologist showed me. But if you're not familiar with injecting with a needle, you're not going to realize that there's 2 caps. You think you took off the first cap and that's how it's supposed to look. But it's not. There are 2 caps. It's very important to make sure you take off both caps. Anyway, then you prime your needle. The first use only. You don't do it each and every time. The first time, you just do a little bit of a click. You'll see the little medication come out, and that's it. You're good to go. You take your injection. You then make sure that you recap it before you take it off, because if you don't, the odds of you getting pricked are, pretty strong. Will something happen to you? No, but who wants to get pricked? The reason for that is on both sides is the needle, right? So you have the needle part that you inject into your skin, and then the other part of that needle is on the inner part of the base of the needle. So if you take it off of the pen first, you have to push it at some point. Either you're pushing the top part, you're pushing the bottom part. Odds are you're going to get stuck by the in your thumb by the part that's inside the base. So if you put the caps on while it's still on the pen and then take off the whole needle, you're not going to get pricked. That being said, also know that you're supposed to dispose of your needles, in a, either you're supposed to drop them off to the pharmacy, or you're supposed to get one of those red containers of medical supply, a medical container. So, a Sharps, I think they call it a Sharps container. So just also know that if you go on the Ozempic website, you can get one of those Sharps containers sent to you for free with a return. The box, it comes in a box, of course, and so the box has a return label already set up on it, basically with your information, that you just send it back to them, so you don't have to bring it to the pharmacy, and especially you don't throw it away. So you throw away the box and the information pamphlets, but you put the needles, the pens and the needles into the Sharps box. Very simple, and it's free, so why not do it? You just enter your information online, and they send you the box, and it comes pretty quickly, maybe 2 or 3 days. So that's something to know about. Also, if you're going on Ozempic, there is a discount card online on the Ozempic website. The thing about that discount card, I believe it's good for 2 years. The thing about the card, though, is that you have to qualify depending on the type of health insurance that you have. If you have insurance through your job, I believe, and also if you're on Medicaid, or maybe it's Medicaid and Medicare, if you have those specific types of health benefits, insurance, the card will not work for you. The card works for private pay insurance, and some other types of insurance. And it asks you, there's a couple of questions that it asks you, and then it'll tell you whether or not you qualify. If you do qualify, that card is able to bring your costs down to, at the smallest point, $25 per prescription, which 3 boxes, you'd be paying, I believe, $25. Either that or you're paying per pen, and it's $25 a box, as opposed to these astronomical prices that people are paying, that they're paying, $1,000 a pen. Me personally, I pay $75 for 3 boxes. And they told me, which I just took them at their word, CVS, The pharmacist assistant, whatever he is, he said that it was cheaper for me to pay the $25 per box than it would be for me to use the coupon. Maybe so, I don't know, but I pay $75. Now my insurance, when we, I have, what do they call it? Basically I pay for my insurance. And so they had told me different plans, and I picked the wrong plan for this year. And so I went to go get my new prescription, and it was over $1,000. I think it was $1,030 and change. So of course I didn't get it. I was stunned. I said, well, something is wrong here. And that's what I found out, that I had actually picked the wrong plan. It had the same name, but it was, they call it the metal. Oh, so it's qualified health plans. And it was the metal plan. So I had the silver, but for some reason I picked silver advanced 250 or something like that. And so everything is more expensive. My deductible went up to like $3,000 or something dollars. And primarily it's the same doctors that I use anyway. So I don't know why it was, such a difference. I don't know what the enhanced things were. But anyway, so I was able to change back to my original plan that I had had for a couple of years already, a number of years. But when I switched back, I had to wait I found out about it in February, and I had to wait until April in order to have my old plan back. So in the middle, I missed picking up my prescription. So what I'm going to do is, once April 1st comes around, I'm going to call the prescription back in, and it'll be at my regular price again. So that'll be the $75, fingers crossed. So yeah, so the $1,000 situation is true. And what happened was, I said, oh, you know what? Let me get this prescription card off of Ozempic that I never wound up using. And like I said, the card is good for 2 years, 24 months. And so I went to the pharmacy with the card. Well, the card helped a lot, but it has a maximum amount that they'll take off. And so that amount was $500 and something dollars, or $400 and something, and my balance would still be $500 and something dollars to pay while I was still on the plan that I was on by mistake. So like I said, I wasn't doing that, not when I was accustomed to already paying $75 for 3 months. So just be aware of that. The card is good, but if your insurance doesn't give you the lower prices, the card will take off a significant amount, but you're still going to pay a significant amount. All right, so that's basically all I have to say. I think I've covered everything. And I can tell you again, it does work. Some people, you'll get a faster result. Other people, it'll still come off. Just stay with the medication. Don't give up. You will have peaks and valleys, highs and lows. When you're in the low, just anticipate you're going to gain a few pounds back. And then once you get back in the high, take advantage of it. Try to, eat a smaller amount of calories. It will come off. I didn't suffer through it. I've been fine. If I've had a side effect, it's here or there. It's not a big deal. And again, I intend to continue. I'm approved until 2024. As long as my insurance prices go back to where it should be, I will continue with Ozempic. If not, I'll change the prescription. I'll have to change the prescription, and I'll go to Mounjaro. I'm going to skip over Wegovy completely, because everything I've heard about Mounjaro is so appealing. It sounds like it's really the best thing, especially if you're more than overweight. If you have, again, 30-40 pounds to lose, Wegovy is your answer. But Mounjaro probably would work faster for you. But if you have a lot of weight to lose, go to Mounjaro. Okay? Well, anyway, thanks for listening. Subscribe if you want. I'm going to have a lot more information. I'm going to talk about the gastric bypass surgery that I had, what happened, how I almost, you're not supposed to say lied with a D. But yeah, I had a serious complication that I want to talk about, and just some other things in general. But I do want to make quite a few videos regarding my weight loss journey with weight loss surgery. I have already made those videos back again in 2010. I just want to edit them. I'm not good at this stuff, but I want to edit them so that you don't have to sit through like this, a whole long ramble of like 20 minutes. And plus, back then, the quality of the cameras was terrible compared to nowadays. And so yeah, so if you wanna subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Of course, they say like as well. Like if you want to. And yeah, I hope you come back, because I really do want to have a community of people, you know, that are in the same boat as me, and you know, we can talk. So I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. If it goes off.